Okay, this is Michael Pepper for MMABay.co.uk, powered by Tap Out, with Ultimate Fighter Season 11 coach and former UFC light heavyweight champion Chuck the Iceman Liddell. Thanks for joining us tonight, Chuck.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, it's almost time for the Ultimate Fighter Season 11 to debut. How did your return to the show come about?
Well, it's one of those things. I had taken some time off and wanted to get back into fighting, and Dana said, well, a good way to get you back in, I think, would be this. So he suggested doing Ultimate Fighter, and I said, okay, fine. I had a good time the first time, so didn't mind doing it.
Okay, it's obviously going to be you against Tito as coaches on the show. Were there any other possible coaches discussed with you?
Well, I had argued other coaches because I didn't want him to be on the show. I just said, you know, I don't like the guy, and I don't like giving him press. I don't like, I tried to get him to do the winner of, Forrest and him, actually. That's what I argued for, but, it is what it is. They figured it'd be better TV, me and Tito, because, they know I don't like him, and, there's that kind of stuff going, whereas me and Forrest have respect for each other, and, there would be no real, it would have been competitive, but there would be no real back and forth.
Okay, what was it like filming alongside Tito? Was it amicable, or was it the same old Tito that we know and love?
He started out the first. I already knocked him out twice, and I really hadn't really had any interaction with him for a long time. So I really kind of buried it, but within a week of doing the show, he pissed me off enough. I wanted to kill him. So he went on Yahoo Sports and said that Dana had to have an intervention with me. I was an alcoholic, and that in September he had an intervention with me, and I had to go to rehab or whatever. And I'm like, which would be a dirtbag thing to say if it were true. Be even a dirtbag thing, but the fact that it wasn't, and then he tried to make it sound like, I'm so proud of him, and like he was a good guy, supporting me in my effort to quit drinking. It makes no sense. But so he pissed me off, because I get questions from my kids and from friends and people. Did that really happen? And no, it didn't happen. But I don't know where he just decided to be an asshole.
Okay, how's that affected you personally? Obviously WEC General Manager Reed Harris has been quite outspoken against Tito on his comments. How did you cope with it, and did you speak to Tito since about that?
I've let him have it a little bit, yeah. I think I scared him. Because basically what I told him was it's true. It went from me having an easy tune-up fight, and looking at training mentally in the back of your mind, you're training. I knocked the guy out twice. It's an easy fight. You're training for that. I went from that to now I'm training to try to hurt him. So it's a long camp, because I'm going through. I'm coaching the show, and then I'm going to go straight through to go to the fight. So, that he just fueled my fire, and now he's got an angry Chuck chasing him. So.
Okay. Tito's been very, very vocal as normal, although you've already beaten him twice, like you've just said. And he's saying you're going to be fighting a very different Tito Ortiz than the one you fought back in 2006. Is there anything that you saw in Tito's recent performance against Forrest Griffin that leads you to believe that there's any sort of truth in that?
No. If he shows up in that kind of shape, I'm going to kick his head. I'm going to kick his head to the 8th row. He shows up for me in that kind of shape. I will execute him. It's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be so ugly. He better show up. But I'm guessing he's gonna show up in better shape for me. He better.
Okay, I know you can't talk too much about the Ultimate Fighter for reasons to do with the UFC and the whole privacy thing. Each season on the Ultimate Fighter, there seems to be larger-than-life characters come out of it. We've had Chris Lieben in the past, Junie Browning, last season there was Kimbo Slice that there was a lot of talk about. Is there any characters this year that really stand out from the rest?
Well, there's definitely some characters in there. I mean, I really can't talk about the show at all, so you have to watch it to see what happens. But yeah, there are some characters in there.
Okay, this is your second appearance on the show as a coach. Do you think the level of fighters are better this time around than the last time?
It's hard to say that. The guys that are still around from the first show, I mean, look at how many guys are still around fighting and doing really well from the first show. I mean, I think there's some potential fighters on this show that could last for a while in the UFC.
Okay, you've obviously had a long and storied career in the UFC. Is there anybody that you've not managed to face yet that you've really wanted to fight?
Not necessarily. I mean, I want to fight, whoever's got the title, and that's what I'm working my way back to. I want to try to get back, make one more run at this title. So if I can go take one more try at retiring with the title.
Okay, there's been a lot of talk about your fight possibly going down at UFC 115 in Vancouver, Canada in June. Has that been confirmed to you by the UFC, or is it still in the air a little bit?
I'm not sure what exactly. I mean, I think that's where I'm fighting, so they haven't confirmed it, but I don't know if it's been announced. I don't know.
Okay, and there was also a lot of talk, obviously, after your last fight, that was possibly going to be it, and Dana didn't want you to fight again. Have you got an agreement with the UFC for a certain number of fights, or is it just one step at a time at the minute?
Well, I mean, it's always going to be one step at a time with them for this, but I mean, I do have an agreement to fight more than one fight, provided I keep winning.
Okay. Big news this last month is the recent signing of James Lights Out Tony to the UFC. What's your take on the whole signing?
I don't know. I have to talk to Dave and see what's going on. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. He's got something planned. So, Tony's at least, coming from a boxing background. It'd be interesting to see how much MMA he did and who they match him up with. I'm just hoping if they're going to bring him in, he's going to come in running his mouth about MMA and MMA fighters being bad. I hope they put him against somebody good.
Okay,
I hope they put him up with someone good, so someone can go in there and crush him.
The big rumour is that he's possibly going to be fighting Randy Couture. I spoke to Randy Couture a few days ago, and he seems to think that's going to be his next fight. What do you think to a fight between James Toney and Randy Couture?
Well, James got one shot at beating him, and that's catching him with the punch coming in. And once he gets tied up, it's over.
Okay, say you get past Tito Ortiz, how would you feel yourself about a fight against James Toney?
Oh, I would love that fight. You actually see me hit a double and put him on his head, and I might get a submission in the UFC. That'd be fun. Might actually play with him a little bit, put him on, do an arm bar or something.
Finally, what's your take on the Ultimate Fighter, and what would you say to people who were maybe in two minds whether to watch this season?
It's gonna be, there's some interesting stuff going on this season. It's a fun season, so check it out.
Okay, have you got any sponsors or anybody else you'd like to mention before we finish, Chuck?
Well, I'm coming out. I think Fighters Inc. and Joe and Fighters Inc. is going to be bringing me out. I'll be out there in England, and I think the end of July or sometimes during July. So I'll be out there doing some stuff. So I'm not sure exactly what yet, but I'll be out there soon. And there's my websites and stuff. You can check out my stuff. Iceman Supplement. UltimateIcemanSupplements.com and just ChuckLiddell.com.
Okay, fantastic. This has been Michael Pepper for MMABay.co.uk.